What's up, everybody? I just wanted to do this quick little video because it always amazes me how many people out there have dull knives in their kitchen, and it really doesn't take much to keep your kitchen knives sharp. And personally, I make a big deal about this just because when I was a kid, Mom never had a nice knife set. She never had sharp knives. My grandma always just went and bought those cheap 99-cent serrated knives, and when they got dull, they went and bought another pack of cheap serrated knives. So, you know, I ended up getting myself a nice knife block, and I keep my knives sharp, especially since I do a lot of cooking. And it doesn't take much. Now, granted, it all depends on the quality of your knife. This is a cheap knife. When my girl and I first moved in together, we bought a knife block, and it was not the fanciest nor the most expensive. This is Faberware, which is not the greatest quality, but it suits me. The only problem is I have to sharpen it every so often because it's not great quality steel, so the blade does not hold its edge very long. And that's what happens with knives, with cutlery. Very good steel, quality steel, is harder, and it will hold an edge, keep an edge a whole lot longer. These cheap knives have to be resharpened or at least touched up every so often, and that's what we're doing here. I do this about once a week, more or less, depending on what I've cut and what I've cooked, and this is what I use. This is, and I know my camera isn't great for close-ups, but this is a cheap and simple little sharpener from Smith's. I bought this at Bass Pro Shops, which is a hunting and outdoors sporting goods place. I bought this for under $10. I don't remember how much it was, but this was cheap, okay? And it's real simple. It has two sides, the coarse side and the fine side. The coarse is carbide, and that's for knives that are really, really dull, and for knives with edges that are beat up, you know. You run it through the carbide first until you get no more resistance. Once you get no more resistance and the blade has been kind of set, then you run it through the fine side, through the ceramic. See the ceramic side, it's white, and that just puts that final polish, that final touch on your blade. Now, in my case, my knife is still relatively sharp. Again, like I said, I sharpen it every so often, so I don't need to go through the carbide, just the ceramic. And it's real simple. And these things come in all kinds of designs. You know, some of them only have the ceramic, some, you know, whatever. Just, in this case, I have rubber on both ends. You put it on a solid surface, you grip it in a way that you won't cut yourself, and the following rules apply to all of these sharpeners. You put the blade in there, center it well, and you pull it straight back, pressing down. Apply downward pressure as you pull back, and just keep sliding it through. Every time I touch up this knife, I run it through here in this manner about 10, 12 times, depending. Between 6 and 12. Again, it kind of depends on how dull the knife is. But I mean, it's not that big a deal. And if someone out there has a similar sharpener or just does this, and when the knife comes out you can't shave with it, don't be disappointed. You're not necessarily supposed to. I don't bother sharpening my knife to the point that I can actually shave hairs. I mean, that's how I test. When I finish, I just, you know, because I got some hair on me, so I do this, and if it cuts a hair or two, I'm usually good to go. But it's not necessarily a sign of a sharp knife, because sometimes the knife, you just pull it through until you don't get too much resistance. That means it's smoothing out your blade. One or two more. Just because you can't shave with the knife doesn't mean it's sharp. Sometimes I pull it out and I don't cut any hairs when I do this, but then it effortlessly slices through a tomato. And that's what really matters. Again, I'm not trying to be Sweeney Todd. I just want to cut through a tomato and cut through a chicken breast effortlessly, and that's the idea. So, I mean, that's it, guys. That's a simple way to sharpen a knife. It costs a few dollars. It takes a couple minutes, and that's it. Now, when you're done, remember to wash the knife because there is little metal powder, little metal dust, I should say, all along the edge. And just tap that out because it does collect some dust in there, and we're done. And now we have a sharp knife.